Hey guys, welcome back. Now, over the past few months, Ethereum's been getting hammered on social media, saying that it's dead, it's just old tech, and that Bitcoin will continue to outperform. The big question is though, is there any truth to these claims? Is Ethereum dead, or is it going to surprise a lot of people and once again massively outperform Bitcoin? And so this video is going to be my big prediction for Ethereum this year, why I believe there's going to be a big rotation back to Ethereum with some shocking moves to the upside. Now, this is going to be quite comprehensive and we'll cover what's been going on with Ethereum so far this year, then what's happened in the past, in the previous Bitcoin halving year, so we might see what is coming next, and then we'll finish with the institutions, aka the big money. Where will they be investing, Bitcoin or Ethereum? Okay, so first up, is Ethereum just old tech and dead? And out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, who is going to reign supreme this year? And so the first place we're going to start is what has happened so far this year, as we've just started in January. So we're looking at Bitcoin's chart in US dollars. And we can see a huge run up right up to the ETF launch where it shot up and made a high. And then right on ETF day, there was a massive sell-off. And in my last video, I was talking about holding the line. And however, it highlights that at the start of this year, Bitcoin has not done very well. And in fact, if you look at Bitcoin dominance, which is the percentage of the crypto market which is in Bitcoin. This was the launch of the Bitcoin ETF, and after a mega run up, it shows that dominance got absolutely squashed back down. But because this is a percentage of the crypto market, it means there was a beneficiary. So on Bitcoin's big day, when Bitcoin got squashed, who was the one that benefited? Well, this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and this was Bitcoin ETF launch day. And it was, in fact, Ethereum that stole the day and stole the limelight off Bitcoin. The big rotation already happened in January, and since then, we've now got sideways consolidation. So just basing it off so far this year, you'd have to say that the rotation has already begun. But that's so far this year. But what about the rest of the year? Well, we can look at the past and see what it did in the last Bitcoin halving year. So looking at the quarterly returns, and this time we're going to see what Bitcoin has done in the past and what Ethereum has done in the past. And again, we'll see, are we likely to see the big rotation continue? So I've highlighted the halving years. So obviously this year is a halving year, as was 2020 and 2016. But I would make the case that anything from 2016 and further back is not really that useful, as there was just such a small amount of money taking part in crypto and very few people. So for me, this data isn't very useful. So it means we only really have one data point to look at, but one is better than nothing. So the last halving year in Q1, which is where we are at right now, it suggests that Bitcoin is going to struggle. Last time it was minus 10%. And so far that is also playing out. But it says that Q2, right at the time of the halving, is going to be very good, 40%, followed by a 20%, followed by a huge Q4, 170%. And remember, these are the two big bull market years. So then going into the next year, 100% Q1, which is great. Very large pullback Q2, but then followed by a good Q3 and an okay Q4 before the dreaded red year. Now, looking at Ethereum, Ethereum wasn't even born in 2016 here. So again, just taking it from the halving year, like for like, it says that Q1 is going to be better for Ethereum than it was for Bitcoin. It says Q2, the rotation is going to continue, a 70% gain versus a 40%, then a massive Q3, 60% gain versus the 20%, but then Bitcoin did get a better Q4. Then going into the next year, Ethereum absolutely crushes it. 160%, no down quarter for Ethereum, up 20%, 30%, 22%. So looking at the quarterly data, it says to me that the money is going to likely keep rotating into Ethereum and it will outperform Bitcoin. So that was the quarters, but we can also look annually. So taking a look at the crypto market on an annual basis, and the year we were looking at was 2020. So starting with Bitcoin, and in 2020 for the entire halving year was about a 300% gain. Not too shabby at all. So remember, 300%. And when we compare it to Ethereum, in 2020, like for like, last time Ethereum did almost 500%. So 300 versus 500. So annually, it says that ETH again will be outperforming this year. And then just out of curiosity, let's look at the big year, which potentially is coming 2025, which is the year after. And for Bitcoin, this opened and closed, giving a 60% return. So 60% versus Ethereum's, and it looks like a big one, 2025 could potentially be up to 400%. So again, annually, Ethereum, looking at what happened in the last cycle, it outperformed in the halving year and massively outperformed the year after. So now we move on to the big Ethereum killers. We've all heard so many opinions and theories and articles about all these Ethereum killers. So this is very serious business. We need to take a look at Ethereum and see if it has been killed. Is it even going to survive this next cycle, this year and next? Well, let's start with a big picture overview at the Ethereum network. And this is Ethereum's unique addresses. And here, to me, it doesn't say anything is being killed. In fact, that is a beautiful chart up to the right. Now over 250 million unique addresses. So nothing being killed there. So if Ethereum was being killed, then surely the developers would be migrating away from Ethereum, as no one wants to sit on a sinking ship, right? Well, these are the full-time developers right now by the top 10 ecosystems. And what do we see? Ethereum is number one. So the smart money, the developers are choosing Ethereum, and 3 times the size as the next one. And not just that, Polygon, also Ethereum, so another 800 developers there. Arbitrum, also Ethereum, another 600 developers there. And Optimism, also Ethereum, another 400 developers there. So nothing being killed here, and in fact, it's dominating most of the developers. Moving on to staking. So we know that Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake, and lots of people had deposited onto the Beacon chain and locked their ETH away. But then when the merge happened and it went over to proof of stake, then people can now unstake and get their Ethereum back. So surely, if Ethereum is going to be killed, we should see a large drop in the Ethereum being staked and the number of validators dropping as well. And what do we see? It just keeps going up. There's more staked Ethereum and validators right now than what happened at the merge. So all these tens of millions of supply is being locked away, nothing being killed here. Now, when we look at the App Store, So this is the decentralized applications. Now BNB chain, that's dominating here with over 5,000 applications, and coming in number 2 is Ethereum with 4,500 applications. So very, very strong, considering just number 3 drops off to 1,300 and then it goes into the hundreds. So nothing being killed there either. Now, last time we looked at DeFi, I pointed out that not only is Ethereum number 1 and dominant, it was 5 of the top 10 chains. Well, there has since been an update, as now this is the top 10 and Ethereum is number 1, it's number 4, it's number 6, it's number 7, it's number 9 and number 10. So it's now 6 of the top 10, so absolutely crushing DeFi, and it's only getting stronger. Now the downside is that if some hefty regulation hits DeFi, it's going to hit Ethereum and others very, very hard, but it's a good problem to have. Nothing being killed there either. Okay, now we move on to the big money, the institutions. Now, with retail investors like myself and most of you listening here, we really just care about prices going up, right? Well, institutions do care about price, but they also really care about 3 things. Number 1 is energy usage. So we have the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos right now, and top of the agenda is climate change and carbon emissions. So there's a lot of big people that really care about energy usage. And I'm sure everyone has probably seen this, and it's just that Bitcoin, in comparison to Ethereum, uses way more energy. The difference between the Burj Khalifa and just a tiny little screw. So institutions are going to look at the energy usage between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's only one clear winner. Number 2, again, retail investors don't really care too much about staking. If you're just staking $1,000 or even $100,000, 3.5%, it's okay, but it's not life-changing. However, when you're an institution and you've got $100 million, then 3.5% becomes very, very attractive. And this is something that Ethereum can give institutions that Bitcoin can't. And number 3 is all about the supply. One of the massive benefits that people keep talking about is Bitcoin is hard money, and it will eventually cap out at 21 million. But until then, it's growing at 1.68%. And when you compare this to Ethereum, Ethereum has a diminishing supply. Right now with its activity and the Ethereum being burnt, the supply of Ethereum is shrinking, and this is going to be a very powerful narrative as well. Okay, and to finish up with the institutions, I've got 2 small clips. The first one is the CEO of BlackRock and his thoughts on Ethereum, and then we'll finish with the CEO of JP Morgan and his thoughts between Bitcoin and chains like Ethereum.
Longer term, do you now expect other cryptocurrency ETFs? Meaning, do you think that Gary, and we'll talk to him later, Gary
like Ethereum
will have to approve an Ethereum ETF? And is that a function of something the SEC has to do, or do you think that all these things have to go to court first?
I couldn't respond to that. I see value in having an Ethereum ETF. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to talk about, think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger that is all created together. You want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that. This eliminates all corruption by having a tokenized system.
cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and that we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases, AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe 50 or $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case.
Over the past few months, Ethereum's been getting hammered on social media, saying that it's dead, it's just old tech, and that Bitcoin will continue to outperform. And after doing a deep dive, what did we find? On the big momentous ETF launch day, it was Ethereum that stole the limelight off Bitcoin. In the last halving year, Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin both on a quarterly basis and an annual basis, and then went on to massively outperform the following year as well. On the application side, I see no sign that Ethereum has been killed. In fact, it's dominating when it comes to developers, staking, applications, and DeFi. And it's also going to give 3 additional benefits over Bitcoin, which the big institutions love. That being a very low energy usage, a yield, and also a shrinking supply. So ultimately, from what I can see, the big Ethereum rotation is on track, and it's only going to accelerate into the year. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now let me know, what do you think about this Bitcoin and Ethereum battle? Let me know below. And also, if you have any questions that you must get answered, also post them below. But just remember, to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments, we are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.